How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about how Marvel can fix Taskmaster. But I have two things I want to say. One, you'll notice that I am moving around a lot and that the background is a little bit higher than it used to be. I got a new standing desk, so I am standing up. I like standing up. This is what I'm doing. And for two, I got something new. Bam! Can you see it? Can you see it? You can barely see it. There we go. That's the first appearance of Carnage. I've been looking for this for forever. I actually found it in Chattanooga when I went on a little mini vacation, and I got it for the low price of I can't remember because it was how it all happened so fast. So there's that. But like I said, today we're going to be talking about how Marvel can fix Taskmaster. So if you've seen the Black Widow movie, then you'll know that one of the antagonists was none other than Taskmaster himself, or I guess herself. And whether or not you like this version of Taskmaster itself, it's not really the version that I was looking forward to as a comic fan. I actually have the first appearance of Taskmaster right here hanging on the wall beside my desk. Now in the comics, Taskmaster's name is Tony Masters, and he's about as good as anybody can be in hand-to-hand combat. He can mimic the fighting style of anybody that he watches, but not only that, he can mimic that same fighting style as he's fighting that character. Not only fighting styles though, he can actually mimic any sort of movement or skill that he witnesses. Right after witnessing them, he can mimic them. And he was actually an ex-SHIELD agent, if I'm not wrong, so there's a little bit of history in the MCU that could happen there. He's actually somewhat of a unique villain, I think, because I don't think I can tie him to one particular hero. Kind of like, Batman to Joker, or like Green Goblin to Spider-Man. I don't think Taskmaster has one main villain. He appeared first in an Avengers comic, but I can't actually tie him to one hero. He's actually the person that a lot of villain organizations through Marvel go to if they want to train their men how to fight against Marvel's heroes, because he knows how to fight like every single one of them. He's like the walking how-to fight the Marvel heroes. But I think that's exactly why some version of Tony Masters, maybe not the one we got, or Taskmaster, not maybe the one we got, but some version of Taskmaster needs to be kept for the MCU heroes that more are on the street level hero, like Spider-Man, Daredevil, you have Moon Knight, Iron Fist maybe, Sam Wilson's Captain America, even Deadpool to some degree, I guess you could say. Now, in the Black Widow film, we are introduced to Taskmaster, but instead of it being a man named Tony Masters, it's actually a woman named Antonia. I thought the choreography for the character was really good through that movie, but she didn't really have a character or a personality. They only gave her one line until the very end. And she was never really referred to as Taskmaster, so I guess that name and the mantle of that character is still potentially on the table. But either way, it was kind of disappointing for that character in general. But I think I know of a great way for Marvel to redo, or I guess fix, the character of Taskmaster. Now, Antonia during the Black Widow movie was actually being mind controlled by her father to basically do whatever he wanted her to do. So at the end of Black Widow's movie, when she is freed of that, I don't imagine she would want to continue staying in that position that her father forced her into. And I don't think the way the Black Widow's movie ended could justifiably bring that character back without bringing that character back without making some crazy motive for her or retconning something that's already happened. So they could go a very similar route the way they did with Mandarin in Iron Man 3 and then into Shang-Chi, where basically they took the face of Antonia took the face, or I guess her father would, take the face of an already known mercenary character that was underground, and then he stepped down from, or just took a break from, or maybe his costume got stolen, and then they put her in that role because of her abilities being very similar to his own. And then maybe he takes his name back after finding his costume and then goes forward as Taskmaster, being Tony Masters. Or I think I have a cooler idea. I think that Marvel should introduce a character that is known as Chameleon. And he could be a villain for Spider-Man or really any character, but I think Spider-Man should be his first appearance, and then he goes forward potentially as multiple villains for a villain for multiple different characters. Now, Chameleon is the character that was the first villain for Spider-Man, and he actually debuted way back in The Amazing Spider-Man #1, way back in 1963. And since he's such an old character, I'm surprised we have not seen him yet in a movie. Not that I'm aware of anyways. Anyways, Chameleon is a character that can mimic the voice of any person that he wants to, as well as makes masks that can mimic or make him look like any person that he wants to look like. We've already seen this sort of tech in the MCU being used by people like in the Red Room program, such as Natasha, or I think Natasha's mother also used it. So what if he took the character of Chameleon and Taskmaster and morphed them into one character? What if Tony Masters could mimic the voice of anybody, he could mimic the face of anybody because he could look like anyone that he wants, but also mimic the fighting style or abilities that anyone he sees? That would be the ultimate villain for any street level hero. Any of them. He can make you think that he is someone close to you. He could be someone introduced into your life thinking it's some normal person in your everyday life, but it not be. And I think this would be an amazing way to give us the character of Taskmaster that a lot of us really wanted, while also adapting the character to fill a role that's not yet filled. With Hawkeye showing us that the Kingpin is in the MCU, he can actually be a big crime boss that hires Tony Masters for multiple things, and characters like Daredevil and Spider-Man who have to figure out what's happening while being manipulated by someone who they really can't identify because he looks and sounds different every time that they encounter him. I was fine with the fighting choreography from Taskmaster in Black Widow's movie, but I was hoping that the character would kind of have more, character. She doesn't have any lines, she doesn't have any banter with our heroes, she really doesn't say anything until the very end of the movie, so I feel like it was kind of a wasted potential for Taskmaster. Especially now since they're, releasing more street level heroes than ever, like Kate Bishop, Yelena, Shang-Chi I guess without the rings, Daredevil, Moon Knight, so forth. You need a character that is going to be a credible threat to these characters while at the same time not being some overpowered character that shouldn't be fighting them in the first place. This would give us the Tony Masters that the Marvel comic fans were expecting to see in the Black Widow movie, while also moving past the character of Antonia herself, because again, I don't think you could really organically bring her character back without feel like you're forcing her into a role where her father, forced her into in the first place. So imagine a Disney Plus show where basically Taskmaster is hired by Kingpin, or maybe on his own accord, to infiltrate the 10 Rings where Xiling took over from her father, and she has to go to Sean for help. Or you can really infiltrate any evil organization for intel or any sort of specific reason that you need, like AIM, the Hand, the Hellfire Club if we ever see those, same for the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, maybe even Hydra. This version of Taskmaster could be such a credible threat, an incredible double agent, and really could be easy to write for if handled with a little bit of care, because you could take him in so many different directions. So that's my idea, grabbing the idea or the characters of Taskmaster and Chameleon and morphing them into one character. You can either have him pick back up the mantle from Antonia once she left that off, or you can lean more towards the Chameleon character and have the character of Dmitry, whatever his last name is, it's Russian, and have him go forward as that character, more leaning towards Chameleon rather than Taskmaster, yet having them come together as one character, have him don the suit of Taskmaster when he's fighting the villains, but also have that sort of Chameleon-esque vibe when he's just infiltrating things. He could be anyone, he could sound like anyone, he could fight like anyone, so he could honestly make the heroes think that they were fighting other heroes. That would be amazing. So what do you think? Could this give a good kind of redemption arc for the character of Taskmaster for those of us who want to see that character like Tony Masters? Do you think it would kind of ruin the character because it's morphing it with another character? Or should they even redo Taskmaster in the first place since we've already kind of gone down that road? Let me know down in the comments. I really think Chameleon is overdue for a movie appearance since he could be a great villain for a lot of street level villains. Or street level heroes. And as a comic fan, I do kind of feel like Taskmaster kind of got the short end of the stick and he needs this would give him some sort of a redemption arc in the MCU going forward. It's even better since Chameleon can sound like anyone and look like anyone. You don't have to have one actor playing him through the next couple of movies or however many appearances he has. Because if you never actually see his face, he can change over the next 10 years until finally 10 years down the line when his last movie comes out, or last show comes out, last appearance comes out, you finally see what his real face looks like. Because shrouding his character in uncertainty and mystery, I think is the best way you can handle his character. But that's gonna be all for this video, guys. I just kind of wanted to throw my idea out there and see what you guys think. I do think it's a little bit short of a video, but just let me know what you think in the comments below. Of course, leave a sub to show some love, and have a marvelous day.